Hello drifting world and welcome to Orlando Speed World, playing host to round 2 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. This is AutoZone Scorched, presented by Black Magic. Well, here's an update of the action. You can see down there on the track, Gittin Jr. taking a hard hit right before practice was going to end. So Vaughn, the former champ, taking a hard hit, and then he got hit on the right side. There's a look at it again. So left and then that right.
Yeah, that last little hit there. I mean, either way, you can see right there he taps the wall, then there's an understeer, then boom, he hits. I think what happens there is he hits the wall at opposite lock, and it probably cranked the wheel. And then the second tap, as Literal went by, was just kind of the icing on the cake.
Well, the wall sucked him up. There goes the left, like you said, steering out, boom. Right. So we'll slowly get Vaughn and the Fun Haver off the Monster Energy, Nitto Tire, Ford Performance Mustang, RTR.
Yeah, and as we see the first two set of cars roll out, we are still focused on Gittin Jr., wishing him well. Really bad timing for him to crash the last few moments of the official practice for today.
All right, Frederick Osmo, Kevin Lawrence. These guys have never seen battle against each other. Kevin Lawrence, happy to see him again out here. He took a hard hit in Long Beach, if you can recall that, if you saw round 1. But now Frederick Osmo will obviously lead as he is #1 qualifier. First battle of AutoZone Scorched, presented by Black Magic. Round 2 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. The Rockstar Energy Drink, Nexen Tires, Toyota Racing, Toyota Corolla Hatchback. And Ryan, we're talking about, you know, the past. Frederick Osmo going through 3 engines prior to this round of competition. Here we go. That 4-cylinder turbocharged nitrous Corolla hatchback initiating into the bank. You see Frederick Osmo high and tight. Kevin Lawrence looks like he's working his way. Good proximity. Would like to see him mimic that height on that outside zone. Oh, wow. Kevin Lawrence really cutting through that smoke. Great job. Good execution there. Frederick Osmo doing what he knows how to do and just put down a nearly perfect qualifying run in that lead position. Remember, a 98 and a 99.
Yeah, as we said, do not take Kevin Lawrence lightly, but Frederick Osmo gets off to a nice start here. You can see Lawrence taking that slightly tighter line in order to gain proximity. Sometimes you have to make those sacrifices. Now coming through this center section here, here comes Lawrence putting the pressure on, but falls off and gets lost in the smoke line, goes up on the big bank there. So a bit of a mistake, but he's able to correct and try to get back in competition. Osmo, meanwhile, is seeing no real major mistakes in the lead. This is what we've come to expect from him. And Jared, now they'll switch things up as Kevin Lawrence will take the lead against Frederick Osmo.
Yeah, look at that, Vaughn. Look at putting on that left corner there, Ryan. That's and Vaughn's just sitting in the car. He's ready to go. I mean, all hands on deck. You know, his priority is to stay focused, stay calm. I know his wife and his brand new baby boy, Gunner Gittin, watching at home.
Well, Jared, as we know in the development of these vehicles, because there are very commonly wrecks of that nature, these cars are meant to be taken apart and put together very quickly.
Yeah, they make them fairly modular, and you'll see actually parts boards in cars, you know, left front, right front, and even like rear axles. You'll check it out. So here we go, Kevin Lawrence. Looks like the bumper isn't fixed or it's been taken off. And look at that, Frederick Osmo. Great lead job by Kevin Lawrence. But Frederick Osmo, the former champ, 2nd overall last year, showing you exactly why. It looks like he fell back a little bit, though. So Kevin Lawrence with a solid lead run. Like I said, your local O-Town boy, K-Law, with that RB-powered S13. Ryan, I was talking Osmo up, but a little hiccup there.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Lawrence gets out to a good start here. He's nice and high on the bank. Osmo keeping it tight so far. Good run in the lead from Kevin Lawrence, now whipping through the center section. Osmo losing some ground here and losing some angle, not able to hang with the angle of Kevin Lawrence. Kevin Lawrence not running away with it, staying deep into that zone. Osmo just barely able to get back in it, but quite a correction coming through that center section from Frederick Osmo. Noticeably less angle through this section. Let's see if we can get some eyes on it here. You can see he's way on the inside here.
Wow.
Just barely has angle in the vehicle at one point on that inside clip, and you have to wonder what happened there to Frederick Osmo.
Here we go. Is the 2nd overall. Frederick, oh, there goes Ryan. Frederick Osmo. One more time from Brian. Andy says. Frederick Osmo gets the win.
Looking at the lead runs, Osmo did a much better job in outside zone 1. Kevin Lawrence was quite a bit lower down on outside zone 1, so in the lead to lead in that area, and overall I think Osmo did a better job. In the chase position, Kevin Lawrence made a big mistake. He went potentially 2 wheels off, it looked like to me, at starting of outside zone 2. So going off the track significantly like that put Kevin Lawrence at a big disadvantage, and he didn't have the proximity throughout the rest of the course either.
All right. So the next battle was to be Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Dean Kearney, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. calling his competition timeout. So we are advancing on to Forrest Wang and Ryan Littrell. They are already on the start line. All right, here we go. Forrest Wang out front, Ryan Littrell in that chase position. Forrest Wang initiates. High on the bank, nice job by Wang. Wow, really riding the wall there. Ryan Littrell not too far behind. Could have been higher as well. Transitioning that power stop brakes. Koro works. 350Z just tipping over that front clip. Ryan Littrell right there on the back end of that Sylvia S15. Make some noise for Wang and Littrell. Great way to start, or just second run into top 32.
Littrell here to play, and Forrest Wang starts off very high on the bank, right up against that part of the wall at the beginning of that outside zone. Now coming through the smoke line, here comes Littrell surging forward, nearly touching Forrest Wang, keeping the pressure on as Wang tries to get to that outside zone. Deep here is Wang, but look at Ryan Littrell. Nice final impression there through that last inside clip, or that last part of that outside zone rather. And here it is on board. You can see Littrell charging down, but Wang smooth, silky, consistent out front. A good lead from him.
Right there in tow. So now, how's Ryan Littrell gonna perform? Out front is Forrest Wang, Achilles Radial, Yellow Speed Racing, Energy Innovations S15. And Ryan Littrell, power stop, Koro works, 350s. Oh, we got a restart. And that is a restart there. And here we go, send it, fellas. Ryan Littrell from the Inland Empire of California. Really high are both the drivers. Well done by Littrell. You can see him, he's been backing that bumper in, and so has the Super Duke bumper of Forrest Wang. Around that second inside clip goes literally overshot it just a little bit, and Littrell now puts it in the groove. Make some noise for Ryan Littrell and Forrest Wang.
Well, a great top 32 battle here. Wang getting right behind him, Littrell staying nice and high on the bank. Pretty consistent separation there. Now Wang attacking, coming down off the bank. Here's Littrell through that inside clip. Wang through the smoke line, trying to surge forward. Gets right in the pocket there and starting to close the door, reeling in Littrell, but Littrell, now he's pulling a little bit of gap. Look at the angle there, reduction from Wang just towards the end. A great top 32 battle.
Yeah, that was just a really good execution on both of the drivers' behalfs. I mean, make some noise for both these very talented drivers, Ryan Littrell and Forrest Wang. But unfortunately, it looks like Ryan Littrell's weekend is done. He'll be watching from the sidelines as Forrest Wang gets the win. But look at this, if you've been following us, Vaughn Gittin Jr., round of applause for his team, getting that car back together.
Unbelievable.
2 battles, a comp timeout, both tires were off. That front left corner was completely absent. You could see that it is minus quite a bit of body work, but the essential items are there, Ryan.
Yeah, the essential items are there. It's no easy feat, though, is it? We've got Dean Kearney, and he has not had an opportunity to make any passes with the vehicle since that wreck. I mean, that wreck happened literally about 20 minutes ago. So,
all right. So here we go. We're on with it. Vaughn Gittin Jr. against Dean Kearney. And again, Dean Kearney in Long Beach, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. looking like Mad Max right now in that Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5. Dean Kearney cuts through the smoke, a straight line approach with those Achilles tires being lit up. The Oracle lights are fixated on the back half of that Ford Mustang and bring it around that second outside zone. Ryan, I'm feeling the flow right now, and it is Scorch. Literally is the name of the event, and these guys are scorching the track.
Well, Vaughn Gittin Jr. blasts out of the gate here, gets that initiation, and it looks like the vehicle's working well. Dean realizes he's got to catch up, takes that lower line, gives some away a little bit here to Vaughn. Now he's starting to push forward. Here comes Dean, breaking it down, trying to find his way through the pocket of smoke there, but Vaughn Gittin Jr. staying deep into that outside zone.
All right, some exciting driving here already out of the gate. Please go ahead and share with everybody if you're watching at home on all the social media networks. And here we go, the second half of this battle, the Oracle Light and Achilles tire, Dodge Viper of the Irishman, Dean, Carnage, Kearney. Wang Gittin Jr., their professional fun haver. And here we go. Dean Kearney initiates. Big high on the bank, big angle, Wang Gittin Jr. Car obviously has seen better days, but right now he's got nothing to lose. Throwing it all on the line as Dean Kearney puts the car in the right places. Looks like Wang Gittin Jr., a little hiccup there on that second front clip. And Dean really exceeding that line on that outside zone.
Wow. Well, if Vaughn walks away from this one, it'll be one of the bigger stories of the weekend. Let's see how Dean starts off. Great job by Dean. Here comes Vaughn keeping the pressure on, but Dean nice and high on that bank. Great line by Dean now coming off. Trying to get through that smoke cloud, find his way, starting to fall back a little bit, makes a little bit of an adjustment, tight on that inside clip, and just nipping it and letting Dean get away. Now we see Dean's got that gap out front, and Vaughn finishes. So we saw the mistake from Dean, not keeping up with Vaughn in the lead run and having to play catch up there. We saw Vaughn make a mistake towards the end and falling off. And now we go to the judges.
Slide him right for Wang Gittin Jr. Wang Gittin Jr. gets the win, advancing through. Dean, Carnage, Kearney. Lontaine, throw on your headset again. Just to really elaborate. Again, we saw higher scores yesterday in qualifying. We saw, and I think that's going to be a trend throughout the season. The way you guys have scaled it, and I know you talked with Sage about it in the opening, but also your expectations here for head-to-head, real quick.
Yeah, we're looking for those drivers to be as clean as possible in the lead position, and Dean Kearney did an okay job in his lead up until the latter half of the course there, where he dropped the tire pretty much all the way around outside zone 2. But Vaughn had more proximity throughout the entire course, despite having falling off there at a little bit at inside clip 2 through to the finish. So overall, Vaughn did a better lead and a better chase and got the win.
Thank you very much. Moving on, we talked, or I didn't talk to him, but Laurent Nickel caught up with Pat Gooden, like she said, about 45 minutes down the road. He is piloting this black S14.5. He's going against Jeff Jones in this Doc Nexon Tire 370Z, powered by Edelbrock and CPR Racing Engines. So here we go. Pat Gooden and Jeff Jones. These guys are both really fun drivers to watch. This should be a barn burner. Here we go. Gooden and Jones. Pat Gooden throws it in the V8 S14. Pat Gooden could be a little higher. Jeff Jones mimicking that angle a little bit. Some wavering there. Drops back. Looks like Jeff Jones. Oh, looks like a big correction from Jones as Pat continues on through the course here at OSW, his home track. Pat Gooden. What happened to Jones? It looked like on that transition, and Pat was elaborating on that transition to flat that really takes a toll on the car.
Yeah, well, both drivers start off very close on the bank. Pat Gooden mid-high line, Jones with them, staying aggressive. Now as Gooden comes down off the bank, we lose Jones in the smoke line, and Jones also loses his position on track. Looks like he drives straight there for a second, and he's way far behind, so he's not able to have the proximity or relative closeness to Pat Gooden. Here it is coming through this center section. Right there you can see he's driving straight for a pretty good chunk of time there. Then he does reinitiate into the lower bank. Meanwhile, Jared, Pat Gooden was out front. He was driving a nice line on that last part of that second outside zone. And I have to imagine he's going to have a strong advantage here.
Pat actually needs to call a competition timeout. Next up, again, we'll revisit the Pat Gooden and Jeff Jones, the second half of that battle. Justin Pollack and Federico Sharifo. Now, the Triple F Drifting Department, Nexon Tires, Progressive Medical Store, Ferrari, chasing down the Roush Performance Falcon Tires Ford Mustang of JTP, Justin Pollack. And Justin Pollack quickly gets to that wall with Federico. A little struggle there, as now comes down into that flat portion of the track. Oh, look at that, Fiorella jumping forward, but then has to back down. So looks like he's lunged forward, but then Justin Pollack, it looks like he exceeds that outside line too. So we saw that earlier with the judges scrutinizing Dean Kearney's line.
Well, Federico battled back in qualifying yesterday, now taking on Justin Pollack in the first battle here between these two guys. I think we've seen since last season. And you can see coming through the smoke line is Federico. Justin Pollack out front with that clean lead line here. The judges putting a lot of emphasis on that. Federico trying to battle, towing up the rear end. And as we go on board with the drone, you can see Justin hitting that inside clip. Nice, smooth, fluid transition back around. Here's Federico. You can get a difference in the angle there at the end of that, or the beginning of that second inside clip going into the second outside zone. So switching things up, Jared, now Justin Pollack will chase him down as Federico Sharifo takes the lead.
The Sheriff out front here. And we are going to be seeing him go against Justin Pollack. Looks like got a restart here. All right, you can see how physically large, much larger the Ferrari is over that Ford Mustang. And looks like don't hit any cones. Whoa, almost flirting with that one cone. Here goes Federico and Justin Pollack. We got a clean start, and Fetty gets up to that wall. That triple F drifting department Ferrari comes down off the bank. Justin Pollack right there to the backside and right next to it. Federico really riding that line. Good execution by him on that outside zone. But again, lead versus lead, chase versus chase, Ryan.
Yeah, and as we take a look at the replay here, we'll get a good understanding of where Fede entered. He did right at that last standing cone, initiates, but look at this, Justin dives right in, holds it. He didn't get right door to door, but I think playing it safe, but also being aggressive enough to impress the judges. And here he comes, chasing him down. Federico going a little bit wide there at the beginning of outside zone 2, and Pollack keeping that consistent distance all the way through the course. Doesn't really get door to door, but he did not let Federico get away. He dove right in on initiation and pretty much stuck there. So now we go to the judges for the official result.
Slide him right for Justin Pollack. Justin Pollack gets the victory. JTP, it is unanimous for JTP, Justin Pollack. Alex Heilbrunn pulling up to the start line. Team IMR, Inca Madness Racing, Nitto Tire, BMW. These guys, I saw they were practicing yesterday, Alex and Alec. It's a difficult one for you to announce here, Ryan. Alex, Alec.
No, I've moved past that.
I know you have.
I've moved past it. That's so 2017, Jared.
Yeah, can't even look at you anymore. And here we go, Alex Heilbrunn out front. Alec Annadell in the chase position. Whoa, look at Alec. Tip to tail, but Alex gets high on the wall. Now Alec Annadell on the door of that BMW. Through the whoop section. And the front clips, and now into that outside zone. Wrapping it up, man, these guys really just expediting this course. Make some noise for Alex Heilbrunn and Alec Annadell.
Great start here. Look at that. Hitting the back bumper, and you can see the trunk goes up. Alex up top, right against the wall, but Alec Annadell keeping the pressure on, moving down off the bank. Both drivers blazing through. Here comes Annadell through the smoke line, surging forward. And Alex is holding him off, not letting him get closer than that, and now pulling a little bit of a gap towards the end. Incredible battle here. There it is. You can see on board from the drone. Alec Annadell taps it. You can see he's on a little bit of a lower line here, but he is maintaining proximity, and then he moves up closer to the line that he should be on. A nice way to start this top 32 battle. Alex Heilbrunn and Alec Annadell.
Alec Annadell will now lead. ISR Performance S14. You can see the supercharger sticking out of both these vehicles. Both these guys supercharged V8s. 2,000 plus horsepower on track. Here we go. Big feint entry. Whoa, and exploding that back bumper off. Couldn't tell whose it was. Was it Annadell's, I believe? Oh, doctor, look at that. Heilbrunn threading the needle on that transition. They almost got into a tussle, and Heilbrunn right there on the door. Would like to see him throw a little more angle at it, not nose in so much, but still very impressive with that control. Ryan, take a look at that again. I mean, got lost in the smoke. I was looking at it with my naked eye, but let's take a look at the replay, the transition, and into that first front clip. That was definitely impressive.
Yeah, absolutely, by both drivers. You see that big flick right there. It looks like Annadell actually taps the wall, then Alex gets up in there. Alex trying to make an adjustment here, try not to lose that front end. Annadell blazing through the course, compressing the suspension. Whoa. Here comes Alex surging through, taking that shorter line now, getting really right on that line that Alec Annadell has out front. Both drivers sweeping through the final parts of this turn. Big angle by Alec Annadell, and a lot to talk about on that run, but an unbelievable start. Here was Alex Heilbrunn crossing over, getting right in the pocket there, trying to close that distance and just nearly nicking the front left door. The driver's side door of Alec Annadell.
So slide him left for Annadell or right for Heilbrunn. And Ryan says Alex Heilbrunn. One more time from Andy. And Brian says one more time. So they're going at it again. It is a one more time battle for these two gentlemen. Lantain, if you could put on your headset there, and you sided with there with Heilbrunn.
Yeah, I did. I thought he did a better job in the lead position. It looked like the way Annadell hit him going up to the initiation point when he was in the chase.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that too much, kind of impeding on the lead car's ability to do their run properly.
Yeah.
And then he didn't fulfill the lead driver responsibilities fully coming off the bank here, coming down to inside clip 1. His line was a little bit off. He ended up dropping a tire on the right side. And when he was in the chase, he dropped a tire at inside clip 1 as well. So I just thought Annadell could have been a lot cleaner, and I thought Heilbrunn did a great job of adjusting to the mistakes that Annadell was making in the lead position. So that's why I gave it to him. The other two judges did not think the same way, and they went with it one more time.
All right, so let's make it more definitive. Lorette Nickel caught up with the top 16 competitor, Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Well, the big guy is taking a breath of relief. There's a lot of emotion down here. Vaughn, competition timeout. Your team was working so hard to get you back on the track. How did you take that breath and reset?
It's tough, went out in practice, and it was going to be my last practice run, and I was second in the bracket against Dean Kearney. I went out to go do my lead and just got sucked into the wall. I pushed it a little bit, like 2 inches too far, and destroyed the whole front end of my Mustang. And damn, these things are resilient, and damn, I got an amazing team, because we came back, we literally, when they dropped the car, we had 5 minutes. They changed both front corners of the car, all new wheels and tires, set the toe kind of. It was a little bit off, but I just went out there, and the whole time I was just breathing and just confident that I could do this. Dean's a phenomenal driver, and I knew I had my work cut out for me running against him. And I just went out and did everything that I could and ran a nice lead run, a little lower than I would have liked to have been on the bank. But my chase run, I was all over him. And then he started to get away from me a little bit on the through the infield, and I feel like it was a bit the line that we came off the bank really put me in a poor position. And I don't know if it was necessarily his fault or what, but it is what it was. But judges dinged him pretty good for some things he did, and yeah, we're moving on. So I just had a literally 60% of a car out there when you count the body panels and the setup that was in it. So I'm just extremely grateful for my team. The whole RTR Motorsports team. I feel like we got the best guys out here, and they all work really hard, and we don't put them through those paces too often, but it's amazing to watch when they need to do it. They practice this stuff at the shop, and yeah, I'm just really grateful. It was a very safe Ford Mustang, got in the wall, got it together, and we're going to go out, and I'm going to go to the trailer and reset and get ready for a long night tonight. And shout out to my wife Abby and my son Gunnar. Love you guys. Get ready for a long night.
Congratulations, Vaughn. Moving on.
Wow, you can see that. That's a rare sight there. Vaughn getting not that I haven't seen him get emotional, but just emotional there on camera. So man, nice job there. All right, so here we go with the second half of this battle. Jeff Jones and Pat Gooden. Remember, Pat and Jeff went and did their first portion of the battle with Pat Gooden leading, and now Jeff Jones. Oh, and it looks like another jumped light there from Jeff Jones. All right, so here comes Jones and Gooden. Looks like we got a clean start. And here we go, the second half of this battle. Jones, that dock, 370Z. Pat Gooden falls back a little bit there. Wonder what's going on as they come down off that transition into the second front clip. Jeff Jones flexing on him right now. And Pat Gooden falling back. Jones riding that line. Ryan, what'd you see?
Well, remember the first run we saw Jeff, kind of come pretty much straight for a certain period of time through that center section. So that was the big mistake from Jeff. I like the initiation here from Jones. He's able to establish a gap from Pat. Pat starting to close the distance here coming down off the bank. Jones through that inside clip. Here comes Gooden. Still a little bit of separation as Jones keeps the accelerator to the floor. He's a little bit shallow on this last outside zone. And you can see Pat Gooden not able to close the door there.
Slide him left for Jones, right for Gooden, and Ryan, Andy, and Brian say Pat Gooden. Pat Gooden gets the victory. Lontaine, you know, not the best chase job there by Pat on that second run. Jeff, a few mistakes here and there, but overall, because you had to digest that run a few runs ago.
We did, yeah. It came down, I think, to Jeff's mistake that he made in the chase position, where could have been considered an incomplete, straightened up considerably in the chase, just coming up to inside clip 2, and his chase suffered pretty greatly because of that.
That's right. All right, Odie Bakchis, Austin Meeks. Austin Meeks debuting a new car here, this Ferocious Motorsports, Nexen Tires, Cadillac ATS-V. Now we got 2 Cadillac ATSs in the mix. And Odie Bakchis in his faithful steed. He's our current points leader, getting the win in Long Beach behind the wheel of that Falcon Tires field suspension S14.5. So Odie Bakchis getting the clean air first, and the way he's been chasing, if he keeps up on pace, he is one to watch here in the 2019 season. Odie Bakchis quickly separates himself from Austin Meeks. Austin Meeks needs to gain some ground here. Maybe letting Odie get a little too far away as he sheds that back bumper. And Odie Bakchis looking very robotish right there. Odie dialed it in.
Well, your current points leader here, taking his first run of the head-to-head competition. You can see how high he is on the bank. This is really an area that he's been mastering, just doing an incredible job. And so for Odie Bakchis, establishing that gap early. Here comes Meeks trying to make it a battle here by closing the door. Some high points for him, but just not able to secure that proximity that he would have liked.
So Austin Meeks now will lead. See that great looking Cadillac ATS. Both him and Taylor Holle running that chassis now. And we are clear to send. Austin Meeks out front. Austin, remember we do have the one more time of Alex Heilbrunn and Alec Annadell. And here comes Meeks. Wow. It looks like he does hit the cone, so a restart there for Meeks. The chicane instituted many moons ago in order to have the cars equally paired up, so it's not a drag race. If we just had a standard start line and no chicane out of the gate, the lead car would have a tendency to really just pull away and again drag race to that first initiation point, and hence why the chase car can either leave the start line or pedal it. So here we go. Austin Meeks and Odie Bakchis. Second half of this battle. And there we go. We've got a clean start here from Meeks out front. Meeks initiates. Great angle from Meeks. You can see that proximity from Bakchis. Slamming down. And look at, there's Odie. Look at that, just lunging forward. Meeks taking out that front clip. Meeks now getting to the outside zone, as does Odie. And right there to the door of that Cadillac. Wow, look at that. Just quick little twitch there at the end. Meeks, again, happy to see him out here in a new car.
So Meeks on the initiation, mid-high line on the bank. Odie Bakchis following that line just like a moving clipping point. Meeks, great job on that first inside clip. Odie falling back for a second, now surging forward, trying to find the line that Meeks is going to attack that last outside zone on. Here he locks in right here perfectly as Meeks really dips deep into that final outside zone. So both runs are in the books. And we turn it over to the judges.
Slide him left for Meeks or right for Bakchis. Ryan, Andy, and Brian are judges. Ryan says Odie, as does Andy and Brian. Odie Bakchis gets the win. And right now we are back to the one more time battle. Alex Heilbrunn and Alec Annadell. So it's an entire full run 1 and run 2 for these two drivers. And away they go. No, looks like a psych. Just kidding. So strike 1 there for Heilbrunn. Driver's ready. Lights on, and the start light on the fence there. And there we go. Heilbrunn, Annadell on this one more time battle. And look at these guys. Heilbrunn high, Annadell right there shadowing him. And looks like one of these guys lost a bit off of their vehicle. Heilbrunn slamming down. Look, it looks like his suspensions actually might even be collapsed all the way. It got that much squat. I know yesterday, man, it looked like, right? I don't know.
I was trying to get a look
at that back
yeah,
left.
There's something going on with the back left. He may have debeated a tire right here. Alex Heilbrunn nice and high on the bank. Let's keep a watch on Annadell. Right here, he's going to lose some ground. Watch that left. You can actually, yeah, you can kind of see it's poking out there, but what was blocking it was the side of his body kit right down there, and that's why he's losing so much ground. I think he debeated a tire there coming down off of the bank. Whoa, there's some contact right there. And then on the transition, you get a good look here of what Johnny's looking into, which is basically the smoke line, but it looks like Annadell debeated a tire. I'd like to get that official, but pretty sure there was some damage to the vehicle. And there you go. See, yeah, look, it is at least a debeated or damaged tire that must have happened coming off the bank into inside clip 1 over to inside clip 2.
Yeah, he obviously debeated. You could see all scratched up there. So unfortunately, a debeated tire is the same as any equipment on the vehicle, and he's unable to run. So Ryan, with the tire debeating, that means Annadell's battle and his weekend is done.
Yeah, and unfortunately that didn't happen in run number 1, because we have seen guys DB tires on run number 2. When run number 2, you can finish the run, right? Nobody's saying you can't cross the finish line without a broken car or with a broken car. So we have seen that, but unfortunately run number 1, he is not able to get back to the line.
Yeah, so that means Alec Annadell is out and Alex Heilbrunn in this Nitto Tires Team IMR. BMW will advance on. So he'll have a bye run here with Alec Annadell from Destin, Florida. Unfortunately, we'll be watching the rest of the competition from the stands. Here goes Alex Heilbrunn from Lima, Peru on his bye run. I'll just let you listen to the supercharged BMW. Here are the all Toyota Racing Toyota 86 battle of Ken Gushi, an FD veteran, and then Laurent Nickel caught up with Jonathan Castro earlier, the Dominican Republic driver, the Jerdot Metal Dom, Toyota 86, and Ken Gushi now on Achilles tires, that Gretty Performance Toyota Racing Toyota 86. Should be a fun one to watch. 2 different engine setups. Ken Gushi running the 2JZ, and then Jonathan Castro running that 2AR. Here we go. Yes, Ken Gushi. Wow, look at Jonathan Castro. This is his track. Are you kidding me? Look at this man. Feeling the weight of DR on his shoulders. He has to back down a little bit here, but Ken Gushi, again, a great chase run. Can only happen if you have a good lead run. Ken Gushi with a phenomenal lead run, but right out of the gate, looks like lost a filter there, but look at this, bam, right to the side of him.
Nice initiation by Gushi. He was right up on the bank, and as you said, Castro really maximizing the degree of proximity, but coming through the smoke line, he's not able to carry it through. He comes up a little bit short on this inside clip. Now, in coming back to Gushi, you can see that for the majority of the course, he was locked into a near perfect lead run. Look at this, he's already high on the bank. He initiates right into that outside zone. Now this is nasty right here by Jonathan Castro, but he was not able to continue it after this inside clip. He gets lost here and loses a little bit of ground. You can see he comes up a little bit tight on that inside clip. And then from there on out, there was a gap established. So we saw some really awesome moments there from Jonathan Castro, especially on the bank. But it is a run-to-run comparison, so Gushi is going to have a solid lead run. Think about the duration of proximity that Jonathan Castro had, and Castro, it's on him to run a similar lead run as Ken Gushi.
All right, sending cars. Here we go with Castro out front, Ken Gushi in that chase position. Let's see how they do when we alternate. Lead versus lead, chase versus chase. Again, the chase vehicle. All right, so here we go, transition. Castro, absolutely on fire right now, and then brings it around. And Ken Gushi past that front clip. Looks like Castro putting his car in the right place as Ken Gushi now lunging forward, surging, across the finish line. Well done from these two Toyota 86s.
Well, we had that bright moment from Jonathan Castro. He's got a lot of fans here. Nice job on the bank, great initiation. We don't see the proximity from Gushi, but maintaining the line. Now coming down off the bank is Castro. Let's really watch his lead run here. How does Gushi fare as we get into this last outside zone? Much better job on proximity than Jonathan Castro in this section of the course at least. So this is going to be a tough battle to call here because Castro had that moment where had he continued that proximity, it'd be a no-brainer, but he did back off. He was a little bit tight on that inside clip. Gushi had a fair chase. He surged towards the end, but he had that great lead to back it up. So not wanting to be a judge in this circumstance.
Here we go. Slide him left for Castro, right for Ken Gushi. Ryan says one more time. Andy says Ken Gushi. And Brian finally says one more time. So they are going at it again. We'll take a short break. When we come back, more action here at Orlando Speed World. AutoZone Scorch presented by Black Magic as our next battle is on the start line. This is Daijiro Yoshihara. Daijiro Yoshihara had a great qualify. He qualified second overall. He's going against Dan Burkett. He qualified 31st in that Toyota Supra on Nexen tires. Turn 14 distribution on Falcon tires. Subaru BRZ will lead. And initiating right at the right time, Dan Burkett. You can see he initiated a little later than Yoshihara, but it allows him to keep that proximity. And now around that second inner clip, and in the outer zone goes Yoshihara, and just very much emulating what he did when he was in a solo run, as Dan Burkett looks like just about to lose his front bumper.
Yeah, this is Daijiro Yoshihara mastering that lead run. He's continued to do this in his qualifying and now in the top 32. But look at Dan Burkett keeping the pressure on here, but falls off a little bit. Now coming back, attacking. A little bit of wavering there from Gushi just very briefly before that inside clip. And this is actually a pretty good chase run from Dan Burkett. He wasn't one of the guys that got really lost in that smoke and fell back. He actually handled it pretty well. Watch him cut through the smoke line here. Tries to get up in the pocket, but as you said, Jared, Daijiro Yoshihara, one of those guys that's really mastered those lead runs.
All right, so now Burkett, sans the front bumper, will lead, getting even more amount of fresh air to that front end. And Daijiro Yoshihara will give chase. Let's see how Burkett handles it out front. And again, Yoshihara, number 2 qualifier. Can he do what he did out front in that chase position? Got a clean start, no cones hit. Burkett initiating at that final cone. Firing off, and there goes Burkett, and Yoshihara right there tucking in on that Nexen tire smoke. And through no man's land, the whoop section. Second inner clip. Into that outer zone goes Burkett. Yoshihara almost going rubber to rubber there. Well done by both these drivers, but Yoshihara in the chase might have just outflexed them.
Well, we've seen some really competitive battles here in the top 32. Dan Burkett starting off with a great high line in the lead, but Daijiro Yoshihara not letting him get away. Let's see how he manages through the smoke line. A little bit of separation here, and then starts throwing it on, reeling him in here around the last outside zone and keeping it very close. So a great lead run by Dan Burkett. You got to give him that. Was it matching Daijiro Yoshihara's? And how did Dai fare on the chase going to the judges?
Slide him right for Daijiro Yoshihara. Dai gets the win and advances on into the top 16. So Ryan Tuerck will lead, as Ryan Tuerck qualified 15th, Travis Reeder qualifying 18th. All right, we are clear to send Ryan Tuerck, Travis Reeder, RT and TR. RT to TR, ready to rock. Here we go. Ryan Tuerck out front. 1552 wheels, go round, and then into that wall. Nice job there by Ryan Tuerck. Travis Reeder, look, you can see him jump up the wall. Was that too little too late? A big correction there. Oh, Reeder with a large straightening there in between the 2 front clips in that power rally. Ryan Tuerck continues on pace out front. Ryan?
Well, as we were talking about with Ryan Tuerck, it's been an incredible voyage the past few weeks trying to get this vehicle ready. We see guys prepare cars for 6 months, and he comes out of the gate blazing. And Reeder with that big mistake through the center section here. You saw Tuerck on initiation. He got right up into the beginning of that outside zone and then pretty much stayed on a perfect line throughout the remainder of the course. We see Reeder not able to hold the duration of proximity, and he made that mistake coming through that center section. So he'll be at a disadvantage in run number 1, but he'll have an opportunity here to take the lead to try to match his lead run to that of Ryan Tuerck.
Definitely eager to see that electric Camaro. We saw it run out here if you didn't see any video yet. I know Lantain put up a video creating a, let's call it what it is, little controversy there. I mean, you only hear the squealing of the tires, no engine, and you know, is that the future? We'll see. Well, right now, Travis Reeder behind the wheel of his S13, throws it in. Looks like taps the wall, shreds that back bumper. Ryan Tuerck right there in the chase. Guy's gonna come on down into that flat section, over the whoops, and then into that second front clip. Reeder maxing out that angle, and looks like he rotates. So Reeder rotates, and Ryan Tuerck continues on. That will be a definitive win for Ryan Tuerck. You can see he actually left the roof with that hand-painted ornamental conifer paint job on the roof to let you know this is a new car.
Yeah, let's take a look at this here. Reeder does start off pretty solidly, nice and high on the bank, good angle here. Tuerck keeping the pressure on. He's got that nice lead run in the books already. Now coming through this point, through that transitional area, you can see the angle by Reeder was not able to be sustained. Tuerck blows by, he doesn't need to, as when the lead driver has an incomplete, the run is over. So it will be an easy win here for Ryan Tuerck as he moves on into the top 16.
Let's revisit the one more time battle between Ken Gushi and Jonathan Castro. All right, we are clear to send here for this one more time battle. We saw some phenomenal chasing there by Castro. Can he just keep that pace up, though? We saw it out of the gate on that first outer zone, and yes, the judges are really focusing in on that. They are focusing on the lead run. Maybe pedal back and dial it back just a little bit. Nope, Jonathan Castro steps right up to the plate and right to the side of another Toyota 86. But now can he keep that pace? Can he keep that consistency? He jumps back right to the side of the 86 once again as Ken Gushi, a bit more angle there. Now Castro taking a bit of a shallower line, but now brings it tight. Man, Jonathan Castro, again, I just can't stop thinking about his run a couple of years ago.
Well, this was a much better improvement, but Ken Gushi also with a very consistent lead. Castro still very tight on the bank. Now this time as he comes through the smoke line, he's actually right there with Ken Gushi, and he starts reeling him in. Now Gushi is giving him a great lead to do this with, so Castro's gonna have to back that up, but an incredible chase run by Jonathan Castro, who's absolutely got this track dialed and has probably become many drivers and fans' favorite chase driver at this track. Great job by him. Ken Gushi in the lead position, laying down a very high standard for Jonathan Castro to have to match. So both drivers know that they have to push 100% here because both of them did a great job in their respectable positions.
So Jonathan Castro now out front. You can see Ken Gushi, and inside those cockpits, I mean, you know how hot it is here. You got your umbrellas, or you're taking the brunt of the sun inside those glass boxes of emotion. Those guys, the elements, definitely, they're feeling it. Here we go. Castro now out front. Ken Gushi in that chase position. Here we go. Castro initiates. It's like slows down a little bit, but Ken Gushi takes that into account. And now into that first front clip. Look at Ken Gushi now. He bounces back. Woo-wee! Wow, Ken Gushi just dials it back and then throws it right back to the side of the 86. This is a dogfight, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan, you asked, and they stood and delivered.
Wow, another set of incredible runs here. Castro didn't get up as high in the bank as Ken Gushi did on the lead, leaving the door open a little bit. Gushi, good proximity here, now transitioning through. Oh, right there, surging forward, keeps angle in the car. And look at Jonathan Castro trying to get out to the deepest part of that outside zone, but leaving a little bit on the table as Gushi keeps the proximity on. So, battle of the leads, lead versus lead, chase versus chase, who did the best overall. that really challenging part of the course coming through that center section, Gushi was able to maximize the duration of proximity through that area. Let's see it through the smoke line. Tucks up right on the inside, boom, right there. What an incredible, this is probably my favorite battle of the top 32 so far.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny it. And it being a one more time battle, and this is exactly, it just bears repeating, this is exactly what Castro was talking about. Slide him left for Castro, right for Ken Gushi. One more time from Ryan. Brian says Castro. Andy says, one more time. A second one more time for these two gentlemen. All right, here we go. Chris Forsberg versus Tuerck Stratton. The drift vet of Tuerck Stratton come to us from Ohio. Stratton Chevrolet, Lingenfelter, Achilles Tire, Corvette. Going against the three-time champion of Chris the Force Forsberg behind the wheel of his NOS energy drink. 370Z on Nexen tires. Here we go, Forsberg at the gate. And Tuerck Stratton in tow. Forsberg initiates the wall, high on the bank. Practically scraping his back bumper. Tuerck Stratton a little bit lower. Needs to work his proximity. It's like he hits that front clip, and a big correction there from Tuerck Stratton. Forsberg puts it right on that line and brings it across the finish line, showing you he had a great qualifying yesterday, and surprisingly with 90s, he qualified 7th.
And Forsberg has really been loving this engine package. He feels very confident with it. He didn't have that last year, still had a great championship run. He starts off nice and high on the bank. Stratton trying to stick with him here through the smoke line. Stratton a bit of a mistake, a correction through that center section. We see just how challenging that part of the course is, and you can see the gap established overall. Here we go on board. Forsberg through that inside clip. Right here, you're going to see that straightening out, and he does come to zero axis for a second with those front wheels. So a big mistake there by Stratton as we conclude the run and now switch things up. Stratton going to the lead.
Chris Forsberg, you watch him on Drift This Motor Trend on Demand. Him and Ryan Tuerck drifting every different kinds of vehicles. And right now, oh no, something's wrong with the vet, or is that a restart? And that is not a restart. We are hearing that.
I think he broke.
Yeah, it sounds. Oh man, the start is clean, and unfortunately that means that Tuerck Stratton will be a DNF, and that will mean that Forsberg will get the win. So you can see taking the GoPros off, and unfortunately for Stratton and the Lingenfelter, Stratton Chevrolet Corvette, slide them right for Chris Forsberg and the NOS Energy Drink 370Z on Nexen tires. And there it is. Chris Forsberg gets the win, advances on into the top 16. Matt Kaufman, that 959, is unable to make it to the line. So, oh man, such a bummer. Love Matt Kaufman, such a good dude, and just a bit of bad luck here for him in Orlando. And he is out. Don't know exactly what happened, but we're hearing that mechanical. Yeah, so not hearing the specific details. But Matt Kaufman unable to make it to the line, so James Dean, two-time defending champion, the Wordhouse Drift Team Falcon Tires. Sylvia pulls to the start, and this will be a little bit of a celebratory run for this Sylvia. Let you hear the purr of the 2JZ S15. Again, your two-time defending champion, getting the fast pass into top 16. And guess what? It's James Dean versus Chris Forsberg in the top 16. That should be a fun battle to watch for sure. All right, James Dean with that bye run. Ryan, James, you know, as we talked about in Long Beach, had some gremlins, and talked about that with Brett. You know, where do you think that comes from? Because these are brand new chassis. They've built new chassis for this year. They might look identical, but they're brand new.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question that their team probably wanted to know in the moment at that time was that exact same thing. Where does this come from, right? What's the genesis
what the heck? Where?
What the heck, man? Yeah, because both of the Worthhouse cars were really known as some of the most dependable and reliable. And when you match that with the skill of Peter and James Dean, you get almost an unstoppable pair.
Right.
And so seeing some troubles in the first round of the year, obviously that left the door open for other drivers. You know, we saw some reliability issues with Chris last year. He still had a good season, but you see this year he wanted to make that change so that he could get that reliability, because that's such a huge factor. It's already hard enough to drive door to door with somebody with smoke in your face and it's 110 degrees outside and you're going crazy. And
150 in the car.
150 in the car, let alone having to deal with things that break.
Engine
I mean, we've already seen how ingenuitive and how strong these teams are with what we saw with Gittin's team. Right. And what we've seen already in competition. So it's part of the game, but that's the way it goes.
Peter Visick versus João Barrion from João is from Brazil, as Peter Visick high on the bank. João, a Formula Drift rookie, a competitor in his home country of Brazil, competes in a classic Ford Mustang, and now out here in a prepared Drift Corvette, prepared by the Drift Cave, the Barbarius Monster Energy Corvette C7. Ryan?
Well, you can bet your bottom dollar that Visick is going to lay down a solid lead run. You can see he was right up there on the bank from initiation. João trying to chase him down. He was on that lower line. Visick is going to do this in his sleep. Just perfect lead run. João, a little bit of understeer there. Front end wanting to wash out. Keeping relative proximity here, but Jared, we know Peter Visick is not one to hold back in his chase run. So João is really going to have to go out there and be aggressive in the lead position as they swap things up here, making our way through the top 32 with just 3 more battles to go after this.
Yeah, and also the one more time battle of the 86 is Gushi and Castro still. So the second one more time. But yeah, Peter Visick, just a really fun driver to watch. To be quite honest, yesterday in qualifying, I thought he had a 100-point run. And I thought we'd see a 100-point run here in Orlando, just the way it was progressing, the drivers pushing each other. Maybe see in Atlanta, I don't know. That's a difficult track to see a 100-point, the qualifying run at. But you never know. Here we go. João Barrion out front now. The Barbarius Monster Energy C7 Corvette on Achilles tires. And Peter Visick, Verthouse Drift Team, Falcon tires, Sylvia S15. And looks like, these guys have never gone against each other, so maybe a little bit of strategy here, just lay back just a little bit, not where it's an inactive chase, but give yourself enough position in order to basically, if anything went south for João.
Well, João's car is pretty quick. I mean, he's not intentionally doing this, obviously, but this is a run where the judges would consider you being on a lower line, kind of trying to run away a little bit. And like I said, he's not doing that intentionally, but the judges want to see you get as deep into those zones. Peter makes a bit of a mistake there coming through that center section and loses some of the angle in the car coming through that part of the course. I'd like to see that one more time. But as we saw in the first run, he had a great lead, and was trying to back it up with enough of a chase to get through as we go to the judges.
Slide him left for João Barrion or right for Peter Visick from Poland, and it looks like Peter Visick gets the win and will advance on into the top 16. As you said, Ryan, 3 more battles left technically, but actually 3 more battles left that we haven't seen, but no, the one more time battle of Gushi and Castro. Man, these guys are working hard for it, honey. Ken Gushi, Jonathan Castro, once again. Are we gonna get a winner, or are these guys going one more time? That would be the 3rd time. Here we go. Ken Gushi initiates. Right there goes Castro like a broken record. Wow. Castro a little bit lower line than Ken Gushi, but that comfort, whoa, Castro overshoots. You can see it lunging forward there. And 2 different engine setups. Castro just feeling the flow. What the heck, dude?
Man.
The combination of Castro in this track, maybe this is this essentially his home track, being as close as he can possibly to be a DR.
How do you not love Jonathan Castro? Just getting very aggressive there. Makes a little bit of a mistake as he approaches Ken Gushi on the bank. Right here, you're going to see a lot of angle. He pulls some out there. And, you don't really need to talk about Ken Gushi that much in this run because he's laying down a solid, clean lead run. He's done that every single time. It's really about what is Castro doing in that position. You can see that adjustment he made with his wheels here in the chase. Really the focus is on Castro because Gushi is out there laying down a solid run. Here's where we had that big angle. He had to pull some out. So we've seen Ken's lead. Now we go to Castro's chase. But, man, how do you not love Jonathan Castro? Not afraid to push it past the limit and really give us a show.
Oh, that was awesome. I mean, again, that I was talking with somebody earlier. I did an interview with Shabin at FD Studios, and said, the deciding factor here at Orlando is the X factor. Bring it, give it impact, deliver. Who's going to do it? Who's going to show up here today and get on top of the box? Who's going to win here, Castro or Gushi? Gushi looks like he's taking a more tempered approach in that chase position as Castro center punches that front flip. Ken Gushi, look at that white camo and that white smoke. You barely see him taking a very shallow line. Ryan, like I said, two different kind of strategies here as Castro says, I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna take it. And Gushi's like, okay, I'm gonna take it easy.
Well, Castro's trying to initiate right up on the bank there, make Ken Gushi work for it. Gushi keeping relative proximity, coming down off the bank as Castro. Gushi coming through the smoke line, surging forward here. Castro hits that inside clip. Gushi gets lost in the smoke. Where is Ken Gushi? And now, as he emerges, he's a bit behind. So a good back and forth battle here. Do we have a winner after two one-more-time battles?
And here we go. Slide him left for Castro, or right for Ken Gushi. Ken Gushi gets the win. But hey, round of applause for Dominican Republic own Jonathan Castro. All right, moving on to our next battle. Michael Essa in a brand new vehicle, Kazuya Taguchi. And I'll tell you what, he's been campaigning at GTR for quite some time, and this car definitely looks like the Kazuya Taguchi that we know as Michael Essa, former champ, behind the wheel of his BMW. Essa Autosports, Achilles tires, BMW. Essa gets to that wall, and Kazuya Taguchi right there in the mix. Essa puts the car in the right places. Kazuya with some wavering there, now dropping down and transitioning as Kazuya takes out that front clip. You can see Essa just really locked and loaded there. Both these guys filling this place with some Achilles tire smoke.
Well, I really like Taguchi in that vehicle. He certainly seems more comfortable. Essa starting off to what he does best, nice and high on the bank. Here comes Taguchi bringing it in, keeping that proximity to Michael Essa now through the smoke line. This is where we see a lot of drivers make mistakes. Taguchi pulling some angle out of the car, and we've got the cone underneath the vehicle now. He's driving with it right there. And you can see he stops immediately. Here he is on the bank. He surges forward. Little bit of a tighter line for a second, but great job trying to gain that proximity from Michael Essa. And here we see a lot of drivers make those mistakes. You can see the front wheels adjusting as he hits that inside clip. And so Brian will get that cone out from underneath. Brian.
Brian?
I called you Brian.
You called me Brian?
I think I did call you Brian.
I think you just called me Brian.
Yeah.
As Kazuya Taguchi. Yeah, we're laughing up here. Andy Yen and I, we've been around since day one, and I think it's Yoshihara where his hood flew up at minimum twice, might have been 3 times in one event where his hood flew up. Good. Yeah. Shush. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to knock on fiberglass right now. Knock on carbon fiber. Here we go. The second half of this battle. Kazuya Taguchi. That up garage. Achilles tire. S15. Look at Michael Essa. Essa Autosports. Achilles tire. BMW right there. Whoa! Massive angle from Taguchi. Slamming down to that flat bottom. Michael Essa lunges forward right to the side of the Silvia. Both of them on that outside line. What the judges are looking for, Ryan? Do we have a winner? What do you say?
Well, Taguchi had that great moment on the bank in his chase where he surged forward to Michael Essa, but Michael Essa seemed to have the greater overall composure here. He makes an adjustment there in the chase position, but then he locks in and he sticks with Taguchi coming down off the bank through the smoke line. He reaches through right there. Great timing by Michael Essa. Now as they approach and get into this last outside zone, you can see Essa not backing away, keeping good relative proximity. He was consistent.
Slide him left for Taguchi or right for Michael Essa. Unanimously gets the win. Again, Michael Essa gets the win as Essa Autosports, Achilles Tire, BMW. We have 2 more battles left. Denofa versus Taylor Hull. Now Chelsea Denofa, that BC Racing. Nitto Tires, Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Again, he'll be signing autographs in the pits with Wang Gittin Jr., who we saw earlier, fought hard, him and his team, to make it a top 16. But Chelsea Denofa is going against Taylor Hull. He's in his sophomore season of that Comp Cams, Achilles Tire, Cadillac ATS-V, and I'm excited to see what Taylor Hull comes out with this year. He's really just, again, every event just gets better and better, but he's going against Chelsea Denofa, who is just, the knobs always turn to 11. I mean, he literally has a tattoo of that on his back. That is just kind of metaphorical, dude. Check out my sweet tot, bro. and have you seen his pizza steering wheel? He's got pizza all over his steering wheel.
Oh, you mean it as a
Chelsea.
comp car? Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Let's boof it. Here we go. Chelsea Denofa initiating into the bank. High on the wall is Chelsea Denofa. Taylor Hull not too far back, not mimicking the angle though. Needs to get a little closer here. Taylor Hull as they it looks like Taylor Hull. See him really locking up those back wheels there to massage it around that second inside clip as Denofa pulls across the finish line. Quick work as the center line wheels go round.
Well, there's a Denofa doing what a Denofa does. Nice and high on the bank. Massive throttle. You can hear him make that adjustment. Taylor Hull trying to chase him down here. Something falls off the car there. And Hull in the chase position pulls a lot of angle out of the car, and you see he's not able to keep the pace with Chelsea Denofa with no real noticeable mistakes. Something flew off the back of Chelsea's car when he dipped down. Looked circular. Any idea what that was?
So Taylor Hull will now lead Chelsea Denofa with the chase position, as Taylor Hull really needs to step it up here. He knows he has that purple nose with the white lipstick in that rear view mirror. Nope, and that is a restart.
We started the top 32 competition with a car being completely broken, annihilated on the ground, and then still making it out for the battle. So we're going to have a lot to talk about during the halftime show.
Oh, that's true, right. We got a halftime show. We're going to be hosting it. Here we go. Taylor Hull, Chelsea Denofa. As Taylor Hull initiates, Chelsea Denofa right there. Like I said, he knows the threat that Chelsea Denofa is. But Taylor Hull, he's got the clean air. He's looking strong out front. Taylor Hull, great execution there. A lot more comfortable out front. That comp cams. Ooh, Chelsea Denofa. Oh, and Taylor looks like he drops a tire as well. Ryan, I want to take a look. I was looking at it with my naked eye across the track.
Yeah, Denofa went up on outside zone number 2. Let's take a look at it from the get-go. Big flick by Taylor Hull into the bank. Denofa trying to find room to close the door here. Keeps it relatively close. Now switching down onto the bank. Here comes Denofa surging forward and pushing a little bit too hard. He goes up off course, hits that cone into that second outside zone, giving some opportunity here to Taylor Hull. How was Taylor's lead? As we go on board with the drone, you can see Denofa right here. He's bit up on that outside zone past the yellow line.
Slide him left for Hull. Sorry to cut you off there. Slide him left for Hull. Slide him right for Denofa. Looks like Chelsea Denofa gets the win. Again, great effort there by Taylor Hull and his comp cams. Achilles Tire, Cadillac ATS-V, but just not enough to hold off Chelsea Denofa and the BC Racing Nitto Tire Mustang RTR Spec 5 on center line wheels. So our final battle here should be a fun one to watch. Again, these guys, homies off track, and now they're going to go for it. Matt Field, Falcon Tires, Borla Exhaust, Heatwave Visual, Corvette, the Beast from the Bay, going against D. Hughes, the Dozer, Dylan Hughes, in that Black Magic AutoZone Achilles Tire BMW. Again, great to see Dylan Hughes step up from Pro 2 to Pro 1. You know, he's got a big battle here. talking to his brother. He says, down in horsepower a little bit, but Dylan, it's great to see him out here and step it up. Here we go. Matt Field out front. Dylan Hughes initiating. You can see, oh man, some corrections there from Dylan on initiation. Matt Field riding high on the wall. Both these guys firing off. Again, the VA-powered BMW, you can see it. Trying to be consistent. Looks like he's kind of lunging and surging forward as opposed to being consistently right next to him, Ryan. As now, take a look at it again.
Well, here we go. Let's see what happens to Dylan. He has to initiate and reinitiate, and camera's a bit tight there, so we didn't see Dylan off the screen. But we did see him with that issue. He's surging forward now. Matt Field out front. Dylan coming through, keeping the pressure on. So just struggling with that initiation. Outside of that, this is a great chase run. But Field, you know, he's been so consistent this year so far. Really good job in the lead position. But it looks like Matt Field is going to call a competition timeout, Jared. So wondering what's going on with him.
Yeah. All right, we got Matt Field back on the start line. Dylan Hughes will now lead. Wonder what happened to Matt Field, as you know, it looked like he had the dominant run there.
Yeah, and unfortunately that is, as you mentioned early on in the show, the one and only competition timeout that he gets, so his team must have felt that it was enough of an issue to go back and not risk any kind of potential loss on the second run, or loss in the battle because of something that may have transpired on the second run that they could not fix.
Man, bummer. All right, here we go. Dylan Hughes out front. Oh, got to restart. Dylan, no, Dylan. Oh, Dylan. All right, shut it down.
Higher quantity of strikes this round.
Yeah, what's up?
Any insight?
Gators. I blame the Gators. I blame alligators. Yeah, blame it on the Gators because the Gators don't care. You got to blame it on something. Blame it on the Gators.
That's fine.
Yep. Here we go. Clean start. Yes, sir. Here we go. D. Hugh, the dozer, against the Beast from the Bay. Push over the Beast. We'll find out. Dylan Hughes high on the bank. Looks right on right now. And now they go to that flat portion. And Matt Field dives in, takes out that front clip. Dylan pulling away from Matt Field. I think Matt Field might be having maybe an issue with supercharger or something. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't seem like the standard Matt Field we've seen.
Well, let's take a look at it here. Field in the chase. Hughes out front. Hughes, great line on the bank. Big smoke line being generated. Matt Field having to drive through it. Now coming down off the bank. Here comes Field, but not really closing the door like we've seen him in the past. Bit of a gap here towards the finish and on a tighter line. Now going back after that competition timeout, here's quickly a refresher. Remember, Dylan had that big mistake in the lead on initiation. He was able to catch up, gain proximity. Now moving down off into the power alley, surge forward. So we've seen both runs now. Seen some strong chase driving from Dylan in certain parts of the course, but that tough job on initiation. And here was a replay of the initiation. You can see kind of had to reinitiate there, but then was able to get up there. And then Matt Field calling competition timeout. Not sure if his car is 100% or not. And now we await the judges. Here it is from the drone. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, bit of a reinitiation there. Wheels really moving around.
So again, even though Matt Field had a lackluster chase run, does that outweigh Dylan Hughes? Ryan says Matt Field, Andy and Brian say. One more time from Andy, and Brian says Matt Field. So Denofa will go against Matt Field in the top 16. Unfortunately for Dylan Hughes, his weekend is done, but Matt Field advances on into the top 16. Lantain?
Matt Field's chase wasn't the best, but the mistake from Dylan Hughes and his chase, he initiated very late and also straightened after initiation, had to reinitiate. Just can't be forgiven. It's basically an incomplete for him.
Thank you very much, Ryan Lantain. So that is the wrap for top 32. If 32 is any indication of what's going to go down in the top 16, you're going to want to tune in. Thanks for joining us.